about a month ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago, we had the original for one rental at a time mastermind in Fresno, California. 200 one rental at a time fans were there, plus or minus. Millennial Mike was a guest and lead off presenter. He has done something amazing for all of us. He has taken the video series and merged video and audio. So if you want to get this, be a part of it, I thought we should talk to Mike about what is in it, what he experienced during the day, and actually show you all the videos and maybe even talk about each speaker. Mike, if somebody's going to get this event, what could they expect?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So first of all, it was somewhat historic. I absolutely believe with my entire heart that we will have many, 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 many more real estate live events with the one rental at a time family all across the country. But there was something special about being at the first one and seeing how many people were excited to be there, excited to come up. Some of them even had their YouTube comment name on their name tag instead of their real name, like All Nighter Hider. It was his YouTube comment name, so we would know who he was. Awesome. And it was just a really nice experience to see the one rental at a time family. And I'm sure they'll be leaving comments on this video for those who were actually there. But yeah, what was very interesting about it is you got a whole range of different levels of expertise, experience, tenure investing in real estate. It was fantastic. We had Beth, we had Dion, we had Cody and Christian, the ADU guy, Omar, Ty, Adrian. I think that's everybody. Myself, you, Bo Eckstein, who is a great lender, and then Convoy Home Loans. I think that was everybody off the top of my head.
That was really well done. We are going to bring up the list, so I thought we'd talk about what we remember from each speaker.
Sure.
This is not a highly produced video audio session. I did pay someone to record it. You had a challenge with some of the video. So again, it's not perfect. It is the best that we have. Let me just bring it up and we'll talk about each section. Is that fair?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm just going, again, you can get this for a whopping $50. People paid hundreds, and we actually had somebody fly from Florida. I remember giving away a book because of that.
Right. Furthest person to come.
Yeah. So again, we had some opening remarks, a giveaway that was, you can actually watch that. And the whole idea of this was not PowerPoint based, right? So we start with you and Dion. And if memory serves, Dion and you really talked about when you opened, you talked about the 5 things to get ready, right? The 5 things to start. Why don't you talk about what you remember from the opening session?
Yeah, so one of the first things we did was we polled the audience. We asked them who already owns rentals and who doesn't. So it was about 50-50. 50% of the people there want to get their first rental, which was great because Dion was able to come in and talk about how people can get their very first rental property, the steps that lead up to acquiring that first one. And then he asked me some questions about how I got my first one. I talked a little bit about house hacking. We did move into a little bit about out-of-state investing. Some people had some questions for me about how I do it at a distance. Fair enough. So we kind of cover those topics. But really, Dion and I just kind of covered the basics, the intro. We want to get you your first card. And that's what we talked about the most.
Yeah. And let's just highlight the reason these are all in 4 video series is Teachable, the platform that I've chosen to use, has a video size file of 2 gig, I think. So each of these are sized appropriately. So that's why you'll see Dion and Mike, who were about 60 minutes, cut up into 4 sections. Do I remember that right?
Yeah, most of the conversations you're going to see on here were 60-minute long conversations, presentations with some Q&A. And then about 2 gigabytes is about 15 minutes. So you're going to see usually about 3 or 4 videos per person because we just can't upload a larger file unless I turned the quality way down, and I didn't want to do that to you guys.
No. So then we had Beth come up. Beth was number 2, as I recall. And she really she really talked about being an agent, but she spent a lot of time because, again, what was different about our event and likely every event I ever do going forward is we had no PowerPoint. So it was audience driven. And as I remember Beth's sessions, the audience was really interested in how does investors work with agents? That was my biggest aha kind of questions.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was people who were saying, well, okay, Mike, Dion, you're talking about making disrespectful offers. You're talking about making lots and lots of offers with the numbers that work for you, but I don't want to piss off my agent. I don't want to waste their time. So Beth, how do you really feel about these types of offers? And she was able to explain how she feels about it and how you can present that to your agent and not feel like you're wasting their time.
Yeah, and again, if you don't know this already, Beth's the top 1% agent in the country.
Yeah, she's
yeah, she's amazing. We did record some afternoon comments, which was just me on stage, kind of summarizing the morning. Then we had Omar. Omar again is I think he's on Tuesdays. He talked about his experience, right? He talked about, working at a family restaurant and making that transition and then becoming an agent and an investor. Really talked about hybrid, right? Talked about flipping and all these wholesaling. He really talked about all the different ways you can move forward. That's what I remember.
Yeah, Omar and I've seen some of his content on your channel before, but when I really went through his presentation, because when you edit these things, you got to pay really close attention to what
yeah.
said. And so while I'm editing this and I'm listening to everything he said, I'm like, I really like Omar. I don't think I watch enough of his videos. He's a smart guy. He's a relatable guy, knows what he's talking about, a professional.
Yeah. Adrian, one thing I know I did right. There were three things I know I did right. You and Dion leading us off right out of the gate. Adrian after lunch. If you'd ever held an event, which I have done, the speaker after lunch is the hardest. And Adrian nailed it. He exceeded all my expectations. He got the audience revved up. He didn't let them go food coma. And I think he changed some lives in that 60-minute session.
Adrian is a hype man. Okay.
He is amazing.
Oh, ball of energy, passionate about what he's doing. The hardest thing with editing his video was he's running up and down the stage and I'm like trying to chase the camera on. I'm like, oh, fudge, I got to move it again, but jump cut, because he's into it, like moving water bottles, running around, talking to people. I'm like, oh man, it was really, if you were in person, if you get the chance to see him in person, I promise you will not regret it.
Yeah. Then we had Cody and Christensen. These gentlemen, I think one was 23, one's 25, 80 some odd units, all seller financing. We really dug into how they did it. How did they have the gall to call owners, have these conversations, become, just grow a portfolio from nothing. Talked about their resort, which they had just closed on. Right. Cody and Christensen. The thing I thought was really interesting when I went back and watched it was how captivated the audience was. Right. Yeah. They were probably in the bottom 10% of age, meaning the youngest of the room. They weren't the youngest, but in the bottom 10%. But everybody was captivated by what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever want to feel bad about yourself and take a real hit to your self-esteem, because at 30 or 40 or 50, maybe you have 1 or 2 rental properties, nothing like hearing a 22-year-old and a 30-year-old guy come up there and just casually be like, well, yeah, I mean, of course I have over 100 rental units. You don't? Really?
Yeah, come on.
Oh. Yeah. And then at 10 years younger than me, and he called you old a couple of times. I thought you were going to in the face. It was risky.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him back for that. That's okay. Then we brought up the ADU guy in a surprise session. He drove down to the event. I really like what he's doing. He's helped me personally. So he came up for about 30 or 35 minutes, answered all kinds of ADU questions, how to do it, do this, do that. I found that session captivating.
Yeah, it pained me to admit that a firefighter could be so competent and enjoyable to watch. As a police officer, we got a little bit of a back and forth, but sure enough, he stood up there handsome with a stash, and he just answered a lot of great questions. It was actually really good because California specific has very progressive ADU laws, and he's an expert in them. So if you're interested in an ADU, how to buy or build, dude, he has great info.
Yeah, and again, these were all audience driven, so we were reacting to what the audience had. Then we brought up Convoy Home Loans and Bo to answer lender questions, right? People were talking about buying different loan packages, debt to income, DSCR loans, 40-year mortgages, lots of different discussions here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway I took from that was, everybody has a very personal question when it comes to lending. Like, will this work for me? Will this work for me? Can I qualify for this? But I don't think either one of them ever said no, or it's not possible. Both of them said to all of the questions, there's a way we can make it happen. Even if I can't do it, I know lenders who can do it. So if you're concerned about how you're going to finance a deal, these are the types of guys you want to learn from, because they know how to get it done.
Yeah. And then the last thing I got right is I had Ty close the session.
Right.
Ty is a member of the hub in Fresno with me. He's somebody that I go to. He's actually got 10 years of investing beyond me. So he and I combined are over 50 years of investing.
Mhm.
He's done it all, sub two, seller financing. He's been a REO agent before. I thought using Ty to bring us home was another thing I got right at that event.
Yeah, he might have been the one up there who was second to you in terms of experience and
Yeah.
deals done, because I think it was Bo and Omar. It might have even been Adrian. There was questions that came up throughout the entire day that we kept saying, we'll hold off for Ty. We'll hold off for Ty. Ty knows this. Ty knows how to do it. Yeah, really an overall expert in all things real estate.
So again, folks, what this video is going to become is I'm going to add this to that series. It'll be the first video, so you don't have to watch it in any order. You now know who does what. You can jump around. But one of the things that I wanted to do was make this mastermind available. If you just want to go get it, it's $49. If you are a member of the How to Get Started One Rental at a Time community, congratulations. I give it to you for free in the bonus section. Mike, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like we kind of opened up with, we had cameras, we had microphones and things like that. Sometimes the questions from the audience are a little tough to hear. I threw subtitles in there, but in hindsight, when we do it next time, we're going to make lines for the audience to line up. So they have to
Lines.
speak into a microphone, so I don't have to crank the volume up and then back down. Other than that, the information just priceless. You'll love it.
Yeah, for $50, it's there.
Or just buy the
I
course to be a chump, because
yeah,
then you get it for free. That's what I did.
yeah. So again, if you're watching this on January 2nd of 2023, you can actually get it for free in my $320 course. It's going up to 400 sometime this week. I want to give people a chance to get in before. Now that we're doing this video, this is kind of the last thing I wanted people to see. But yeah, I appreciate you. I can't believe you spent well over 6 weeks doing this for us. So thank you from me to you.
No problem. I was happy to do it. It forces me to not only rewatch it, but watch it very closely. And that does nothing but help me with my experience. And I had the opportunity to now reach out to these guys on Instagram to ask them questions and chat with them about it, and connections built for me. So really, I'm the one who made out like a champ.
I like that. Thanks, buddy.